Hey guys, this is Andreas and welcome to episode 3 of the Nothing But Tablets Android screencast. Last time I talked about launchers and what you can do with them, how you can customize them. Basically a huge topic that I tried to compress into a single episode. This week is going to be sort of similar and sort of different because I'm going to talk about WidgetLocker, which is one third-party app that you can use to replace your the lock screen with one that you have customized yourself. There are several different options out there to do this, but WidgetLocker seems to be the one that's most used and also the one that I personally like the best. However, it isn't free. I think it's $3. There are some free options, but in terms of customization, WidgetLocker really is the one that you should pick. So the lock screen on Android is a lot like the one on iOS. You have basically two different versions of it. The first one is the unsecure one, which I'm using right now. If I just lock my screen, basically just this sort of IQ test by pulling this over to the unlock icon to unlock the screen, just to make sure that if you do hit the button while the device is in your pocket, it doesn't start opening apps and such. You can also activate a more secure lock screen where you have a pattern or pin code, or on ice cream sandwich, face unlock, which actually isn't secure at all. Um, just so to make sure that people can't get into your device if you lose it or they steal it. So WidgetLocker basically replaces the first one and can also be used in conjunction with the secure one, so that if you're only using WidgetLocker, WidgetLocker then unlocks you to the home screen or someplace else, and if you use it with a secure lock screen, then it unlocks you to that pattern unlock or whatever you're using. So when you install WidgetLocker, you get an icon in your apps, and clicking that icon will basically start WidgetLocker in edit mode. The screen you see right now is basically how it will look if I just go in here and enable WidgetLocker, which will then replace my lock screen. If I just lock it and then unlock it again, you can see that I got that new lock screen. So when you're in edit mode, which you enter by using the icon, you can actually customize it. So this is basically the default version. It's very similar to the one that I had from stock, but as you can see, there are actually two more icons right here. So right off the bat, you have more features. You can basically control the backlighting, or you can unlock straight into the camera. And the reason why you would unlock straight into the camera is if you see something like a bunny or whatever and you need to get to the camera fast. But what's special about WidgetLocker is that it basically works like a home screen that's also a lock screen. So this right here is actually just a widget. It's a stock widget that comes with it. I can edit it and input owner info. I can say Bob, and I can enter my phone number right here, so that if people, since this isn't my tablet, if I lose my tablet, then people can see who to call directly. This is just a clock that's actually included with WidgetLocker, but WidgetLocker supports basically more or less any widget you already have or that you install specifically for it. So if you want to just delete this completely and add a widget from your launcher widgets, you can do that as well. So I can just scroll through here and put the battery widget that I have on my home screen here on my lock screen. So that gives me quick access to the battery status. So by doing this, you can actually sort of do a lot of things with WidgetLocker. For instance, let's say that you want to take a quick glance at the weather. That's not exactly secure information, so you shouldn't have to disable your pin code or your pattern code in order to just check the weather. So perhaps you want to put that widget on the lock screen instead of the home screen, and then you can just glance at it immediately when you press a button on the screen, or press a button on the device. And you also have some settings in here that can look a lot like launcher settings, like various transitions and behavior. You can make it so that let's see if I can find it. You can disable which buttons can actually make the screen wake up, and all sorts of things that make the widget and the entire concept work better as a lock screen rather than what it would work like on a launcher. So you have all these different settings, and you also in here somewhere you have the ability to I think it's called layout in this one. So you can sort of determine how it's going to look, how many icon spaces you have. This is a lot like how a home screen works, but basically you choose how many icon spaces you have, and that sort of determines how many widgets you can fit and all that sort of thing. And this unlocks thing over here is basically the widget that, because this is actually a widget, I can delete this one as well, remove, and then I actually have a lock screen that I can't unlock. So I can select to add a custom slider and just choose between several. Let me make it look like an iPhone, and then I slide this one over here to configure what this slider is doing. So that one is going to be unlock, and it's going to have this icon, and then I can configure this other slider to go straight into camera or open an app or something like that. And then I'm going to select, is there anything that looks like a camera here? This one does, like that. And I'm just going to resize this one, make it fit the entire screen, center this one a little bit more. And as you can see, there is also this option to block clicks, which basically means that if you have a widget like a weather widget, it might have a default feature where if you click it, it opens up the weather app. Then block clicks basically does so that the widget is only visual, you can't actually interact with it. So that's very nice. So let's just add some other widgets, like one with a clock and the weather. Like this is actually going to be very pretty, but as far as a demonstration go, you can see the point. So what I've done now is basically customize the lock screen, even though it looks like I've customized my home screen. So if I exit out of WidgetLocker now and then lock my device and then click the button again, this is the lock screen I get. So in order to unlock it, I now drag this one over here, or if I drag this one the other way, it goes straight into camera. And basically, because this uses widgets, only your imagination really determines what you can do with this. And there are also themes you can download to get different unlock sliders. You see that this one is very much different from the one that was here by default. So there are links and all that in the app that will tell you where you can get um, the themes, and then basically you just do whatever you want to customize this. For instance, maybe you're not so worried about security at all. Maybe you want email straight on the lock screen or something like that. So let's see if we can find more themes. Okay, that's going to open a web page, so let's not do that right now, but you do have quite a few different built-in ones. On my phone I actually use the one called ICS, which is this one that has basically 4 slots for you to configure. So I have mine set for I think it's unlock, email, camera, and LED light. And the one that's LED light is actually quite useful, because if I need a flashlight when it's dark, I just grab my phone, click a button and drag the slider up, and then it automatically starts. No need to unlock the screen, find the LED widget or the LED app. I just do it like that automatically. So that's basically what makes WidgetLocker different from home screens, but the concept with widgets and just being able to resize everything, it's very much like a home screen, and that's also what makes this app great. So for instance, I could also add several sliders, like let me add another one from MIUI, which you have to drag down. Instead of this being unlock, let's see, let's set it to launch an application like Kindle. So you can even have several different sliders if you want. So if I want to unlock my screen now, that's here. If I want to go into camera from my lock screen, I do like this. If I want to start a phone app, I drag this down like this. This will get me into messages. It actually says the application is not installed because this is the phone, and this will bring me into Kindle. So basically you get the point. WidgetLocker is all about being able to customize the lock screen experience. And before I stop recording, there's also another smart tip that's very useful. There are some apps that are able to interact with WidgetLocker. One of them is Unlock with Wi-Fi. No, I don't want to do anything. So Unlock with Wi-Fi is an app that disables the security option on your lock screen if you're at home. So, or if you're in range of a Wi-Fi network that it knows. So for instance, I have it set so that if it's connected to my home Wi-Fi network, I don't have to enter my security pattern. And right here at the bottom, you have an option that says disable WidgetLocker when and you have 3 options here. One's never disable WidgetLocker, disable WidgetLocker when locked, and disable WidgetLocker when unlocked. And these 2 options basically mean that when locked, that means that if you're not connected to a known Wi-Fi network that you have set up in this app, then you disable WidgetLocker. And this other one basically does the exact opposite, so that if you are connected to a confirmed secure Wi-Fi network, then you disable WidgetLocker. So just to mention some potential uses, perhaps you want to have the security pattern activated at home, but when you're out and about, or I'm sorry, maybe you want to have it disabled at home so you don't have to enter it, but you want it to be active when you're out and about. And at the same time, when you're out and about, you don't want WidgetLocker uh, because maybe you have some widgets that show your email or something like that. But when you're at home, you actually want that to be active. So by using this, you can actually make it switch from only using the security pattern to only using the custom lock screen. Or you can sort of mix and match. An example of the opposite, where you would have WidgetLocker active and out and about, is what I showed you with the clock widget that allowed you to show to display owner information, like your phone number and your email, in case you lose the device and someone honest actually finds it. So maybe you don't want maybe you want WidgetLocker only for that feature, so that if you lose your phone, then they have your contact information without having to unlock the phone. Then you can set up unlock with Wi-Fi and WidgetLocker, so that WidgetLocker is only turned on when you're not at home. So that's just a brief introduction to what you can do with WidgetLocker. But this is like launchers, this is a very powerful app because it uses widgets, and customization is just key to this app, making it do the thing you want it to do. And let me quickly, before I stop recording, um, show you the forum thread on XDA developers, which is basically a long thread with themes you can download to sort of get easy access to new um, sliders and basically just new looks. So if this would just load. So this is the WidgetLocker theme collection, and this thread is basically golden because this is where you would go to find new themes. So here we have some examples of people who have set this up for real, and you can see that this just looks beautiful. So this guy to the left here could go straight into the phone from the widget or from the home lock screen, and then, well, you basically have pages after pages of different lock screens to choose from. So I really like WidgetLocker, and I think that it adds a lot of functionality to the device, and hopefully that others will too, and hopefully this has helped you to get to know WidgetLocker and that it even exists to begin with. So that's it for episode 3 of the Android screencast, and thank you for watching.